So far in this world, we've had a really strong start with the basics. We've got a cozy house, some crops and animals, and even an enchanting table. But last time we did kind of leave our mine unfinished and a little ugly, and today I want to change that. In this episode, I want to upgrade our mining operation with a fancy mining entrance, a lava farm, a super smelter, and even an unlimited source of iron with an iron farm. So it's going to be a busy episode, so we better start getting to work. But before we get into all of that, I want to head up to our enchanting table and try to enchant my boots for feather falling, because I didn't say this last time, but I almost died falling off my roof. That would have honestly been pretty embarrassing. I did grind some levels between episodes, so I've got 35 levels down on my hotbar, so hopefully that gives us enough chances to try to get feather falling. Now our armor is already enchanted because I bought it from the villagers, but luckily we can just grind stone off the enchantments and then we can put it in the table and see what we're gonna get. I was hoping for something a little bit better than that. Let's go ahead and try again. We've got another chance. Unbreaking 3. Feather falling 2. Oh, I feel like we can do better than that though. Oh, I mean, that's not bad. Protection 3, Depth Strider 3, Unbreaking. That's not too bad. There is another task that I want to do before we start today, and that's to go to the Nether. I know, we don't have perfect armor yet, and I'm a little bit scared, but there is a zombie spawner over by where our mine is. And if we want to make that a one-hit farm, we're going to need to get some soul sand. I'm going to get some extra food before we go, because we're going to pop in, we're going to take it slow. We don't have to do anything extra dangerous. And we don't even have to go mining for obsidian, because I already mined a bunch in between episodes. Now we can go ahead and cook up our meat in our furnace here, but we also got to level 30 again. So we'll just go ahead and craft up some new boots. Okay, so let's see what we're gonna get here. We've got Depth Strider 3, Feather Falling 3. I might just take that, honestly, because there's no guarantee that we will get it with the Depth Strider 3, and we can always combine our boots later. These furnaces have some XP stored in them, so I'm gonna grab that really quick, because then we can enchant another piece of our armor. I think I'm gonna go for the helmet, and let's see what we're gonna get. Ooh, Protection 4, Unbreaking 3. Okay, not that bad. And now that we have enchanted another piece, we can go ahead and combine our boots. 21 levels, that is... Okay, 8 is a lot better. And it broke our anvil, of course. And it's far from perfect, but at least we have some protection against fall damage now. So I think now it's time to move on to the scary task of today, and that's going to the Nether. I lit up this little cave over here, so I'm gonna put our portal in there just so we don't have to deal with the portal noises. While we're there, I just want to focus on finding some soul sand for our eventual XP farm and maybe some quartz. I don't want to finish the Nether today, and I'm not really looking for a fortress or anything either. I am a little scared. Normally I like to have protection 4 on my armor, and I don't even have a sword or a bow either. So this is going to be a little bit scary. But it's okay, we've got shields, we've got an axe, and I believe. Whoa. What is that? Is that a happy ghast? How lucky is that? Our portal literally came right out to a soul sand valley, and it has a happy ghast right here. This wasn't really on my to-do list, but I am going to pick up these bone blocks too, because I don't have a source of bone meal yet. And the task that was on my to-do list was gathering some of this soul sand, so I'm just going to take some of this as well. I don't like being on the edge of this thing with all of those skeletons over there. There is quartz there, but I don't think it's worth it. But I bet if I just mine for a little bit here, I'll find some quartz in no time. I don't need a ton, just a little bit for comparators later on in this video if I decide to make a sorting system. Okay, we've got a little opening, but this doesn't look like it's too bad. We could probably just make a little staircase and then look for some quartz down here. Ah, yes, perfect. Over there and on my left, there's some as well. And this will be probably more than enough. I don't need a ton of it, like I said, and I should have brought my fortune pickaxe, but I completely forgot it. And while we're here, I'll just grab this up too, because I don't want to come back if I don't have to. I know this is going to be semi-dangerous, but I just want to take a little look here. Can we see any other biomes? Looks like right there, that is a... I thought it was basalt, but that's another fortress. Okay, I don't really want to go into the Nether fortress today, but I want to check it out. I'll scope out the area, you know? Oh, another happy ghast. Let's get him, because I don't like that he's near that fire. Oh my gosh, imagine he went into the fire. That would have been embarrassing. Okay, right over here, it does look like this does open up into a basalt delta, and there is the Nether fortress as well. Oh my gosh, look at all those wither skeletons. Okay, I don't think that we're going to be going over there today. Absolutely not. We will definitely be coming back here, but I'm going to bring a bow when I come back because those blazes are going to be very annoying. for now, we got what we came here for, so I'm gonna head back home and empty my inventory. So I'll see you guys in a second. Okay, it's been a couple of days because in between clips it was Halloween, and I went back to the Nether to collect some of the Halloween pumpkin mobs. We got our first wither skeleton skull, and we got some blaze powder for a brewing stand. I got pretty lucky with some enchanting with this power 4 flame unbreaking 3 and infinity bow, and I got a pretty nice upgrade to my axe as well. But since I have 33 levels, I want to go ahead and enchant a sword because I haven't had one yet in this world. I really want a sword that has sharpness on it, so I'm going to skip out on fire aspect and try the pickaxe, but that was kind of not good. Bane of arthropods, absolutely not. I tried to do a little bit of rerolling, but it still has Bane of arthropods, so I'm going to grindstone this off, so hopefully that gets rid of the curse. And the last thing I have to update you guys on is that we got some acacia from that savannah over by spawn. Wait, that's a lie. I have one more thing that I want to tell you guys about, and that's to do with our villagers. On stream, our gear took quite a beating while we were in the Nether fighting off those wither skeletons and blazes. So I bred up some extra villagers for today's project and for mending, which I got for 18 emeralds, 18 emerald mending, which is not terrible. And it only took me 510 times of placing the lectern. And that's why I do that kind of stuff on stream, because it's horrible to do by yourself. Absolutely horrible. Anyways, moving on, over here, this is where I set up our strip mine last time. It functions as a basic mine, and normally this is exactly how I'd leave it. In fact, these are my last 2 strip mines from my last 2 hardcore worlds, and all I'm asking for is no judgment, please. But these videos are my journey to make this my perfect world, so we've got to upgrade this. So this will be my first time ever in my life trying to make a nice mining area, but I have a lot of ideas. In fact, I was so excited about this that I actually drew a picture of what I wanted to do on my iPad, and I'm going to share it with you guys. But keep in mind that I'm not a professional artist, so please be nice. For this mining area, I really want a gatehouse that opens up into a fortified structure. It has a few buildings on either side to house the super smelter and the lava farm, and in a separate building nearby, I want to have our iron farm with storage. Oh, also I did catch a zombie villager in between episodes and put them in here, so we can cure them now that we've been to the Nether. Plus we have the zombie spawner down here to incorporate into the project as well, so we'll have to figure out a way to incorporate this into the mining area. So as you can see, there's actually a ton of stuff that I want to do in today's episode, but the first thing we're going to work on is the waterfalls. I love the waterfalls and I really want to incorporate them into the valley in some way, but they are a little bit chaotic looking and they're kind of taking up spots on the mountain for us to build on. So I think if I just plug up a couple of them and kind of like push them back a little bit and cut them off a little bit, that'll be a little bit better. Alright, so let's head into our first time lapse of the video to get that taken care of. I spent some time plugging up the water holes and then slowly working on getting the water to recede a bit to have a little bit more space for building. While I was busy with that, I also started to terraform the area where the mining entrance would go, building up some layers of dirt to create a nice gentle slope for our pathway. And with that all taken care of, I think it's time to work on the next step of our process here, which is going to be making an iron farm. But to make our iron farm, I'm going to actually need like a stack of iron for hoppers. We're also going to need minecarts to move the villagers. And I want to build the iron farm first, so we're building up a supply of iron while we build the other stuff, because we're going to need it for the cauldrons and hoppers for the super smelter too. So let's get mining with our Fortune 3 pickaxe. Okay, coming back in to tell you guys that I have been pretty busy. As you can see, I've got our zombies in place, but I am going to go ahead and fill in this entire cave. It just happened that there was a cave underneath where I'm building our iron farm, and I got super lucky with 2 zombies spawning down here. Like, what are the odds of that? All of this cave is prime ground for iron golems to spawn, and I probably could get away with just doing buttons, but I'm afraid that if I ever accidentally water bucket, this might just be a little bit easier, you know? Also, I'm so sorry that I'm just kind of jumping into stuff right away in this episode, but we have a lot to do and I just want to get some progress done. Okay, now that that's filled in, I'm just going to cover this up. We don't really need to go down there anymore. And the next step is to get the villagers in and also dig the hole for the iron golems to die in. So let me get that taken care of and we'll be right back. Okay, it looks like we just missed an iron golem dying here. We've already got 17 iron and 5 poppies, which is awesome. Means the farm's working. And I'm gonna leave it like this for now. I don't exactly know what kind of theme I want to do down here yet, so for now we're just gonna let it run. Now I did add an extra zombie and some extra villagers to this one. Compared to my other 2 hardcore worlds, I feel like I don't need a lot of extra iron, but it would be nice to have a little bit more than what I was getting before. Oh, there goes another one down the hole. But yeah, for now, this is completely fine and we can move on to another task on our to-do list today. But before we do that, I've got 32 levels again. Oh my gosh, look at that sword! That might be one of the best swords I've ever got from enchanting. I think it's safe to say that the Bane of Arthropods curse is broken. I am always smelting copper, so I do believe we have some more XP. Yes, we do. I think let's take protection 3 on the pants. Unfortunately not on breaking, but we can always try to get that later. Our next pick enchant is Silk Touch. Ooh, okay. Once I get 30 levels again, I'm definitely coming back for that. We do have a Silk Touch villager, but hopefully I can get like efficiency and breaking on it too. Alrighty gang, we're over at the build site and I have planned out a little bit of how I want this to look based on the picture I drew earlier. So let's just tower up here. Okay, as you can see, I plotted out some of this. So this will be our gatehouse and these will be towers. And then behind that, we've got a build on this side and a build on that side. And in between, this will have like a roof covering the entire thing. And luckily for us, I think I have all the materials I'm gonna need for this. I did overgather a little bit last time. So I think we're gonna actually just go ahead and get started with the build. Welcome back everyone, and as you can see behind me, we've got the bones of our new structure. Oh my gosh, that was so scary. Anyways, we have got the basics in for our mining entrance over there, but as I'm looking at this, I feel like I kind of want to swap out the spruce on the top. I think changing that out for dark oak will make it look a little bit more consistent with the other builds in the valley, especially if you compare it to, let's say, our starter house over there. The interior of it is currently empty and I still gotta do the pathways and stuff, but I'll be saving that for later. But yeah, I really love how this came out. And of course, we've got to swap out the floor in here too, probably for some like muddy ground blocks. I think in this room, I'm gonna put the lava farm and then across from it over here, the super smelter. And inside the lava farm room, we have this little indentation here, which I think we can probably make work with, ooh, some emeralds, nice. We'll come back for that later, but I think this can link up to the zombie spawner. It should be right down here. Yeah, there it is. So it does definitely line up. But yeah, I think we can make this little pathway here into a hallway to access the XP farm eventually once we do it. And of course, we'll do some stairs and stuff in through here, but we'll worry about that another time. Let's go ahead and put in our lava farm. Now down in the iron farm, let's see how much iron we've got over the last hour. Oh, this is not bad at all. That's actually quite a bit. But let's grab some so we can do some crafting. And by crafting, I definitely meant crafting up a bunch of cauldrons so that we can go ahead and fill in this whole back wall here. So this will all be completely full, and then maybe we can put some over here too. Then we'll go ahead and put in our dripstone and our mini pointed dripstones. And then above our dripstone, we're going to add some of these copper trapdoors. I'm going to let all of these age down into their oxidized form. And then we will get rid of the stone, and in between there, we're going to add 2 buckets of lava so that each one is a source. Just like that. And now while we wait for some more lava, we'll go ahead and just do a little bit of decoration. So in the middle here, I just want to make kind of some piles of stuff. And because these are barrels and chests, this can also double as some storage for our buckets of lava too. And for just a little bit of extra detail, some campfires, and now we have an unlimited source of fuel as our lava continues to come down and drip through these dripstones. Now, next up on our to-do list is a super smelter in here, and I'm probably going to do this in a little time lapse because, not gonna lie, I don't quite remember how to make one of these, and it's probably going to be pretty scuffed. Okay, the super smelter is in. Still got to do the floor in here, of course, but we've got a very basic room. I don't think we are going to need it to be much bigger than this. And to put stuff in to be smelted, you can go through these doorways. Now, this might change up in the future because I don't know exactly how I want the whole mine shaft to look yet. So the bottom minecart gets the fuel and the top one gets whatever you want to smelt, and then you can just hit the lever on and the minecarts will take everything back and forth for you. Luckily, we have some lava for the ones that didn't get any fuel, and over here we can also do this one, and yeah, all of it will end up in the chest, and so will all of the buckets. Honestly, even though it's a little bit scuffed, I'm happy to have an automatic smelter again. Next up, I think that we should probably work on this iron farm area. I do want to put a build over the iron farm, and since this is a square, maybe a square building would look good. I want to replace the ladder with a spiral staircase going down, which we could kind of fit nicely within a tower, so if we have a building and then a tower here, we could also do some kind of like bridge archway thing, kind of like what we did over there. And of course it's raining out of nowhere, but yeah, anyways, the bridge thing I think is a good idea because it's going to bring in some of that vibe of that like fortification feel that we want for the valley. I want to keep things cozy, but also have them feel like they have a lot of structure, like the retaining wall over there. Okay, let me go collect some resources for the build and I'll be right back. Now that we've got all the materials we're going to need to build, I want to get the building process underway, but there's one last thing I want to do before we start. Please go away, Mr. Spider. Thank you. And what I want to do might actually help us with building, and it has to do with a new mob that came out in a recent update. Just need to grab a couple pieces of leather. Using this leather, we're going to be able to craft a harness to ride this mob. Now, with just waterlogging it, we're going to start hydrating our happy gas to let it grow into a gasling. They're not super new to the game since they've been out for a while, but they are new to me. This is going to be my first time having my own happy gas, and I'm super excited to go ahead and craft up our harness here. And I very specifically dyed some wool blue for this, not only to match the sky and the water all around, but also to do with the name reveal that is coming later on in the episode for the valley. In fact, we've got a lot of stuff to name at the end of this episode, but we'll get there later. Anyways, like I said, we have all the materials we're going to need for this build, so I think there's probably no time like the present to just get started building our iron farm build. Okay, we are back and our happy ghast is fully grown, so now we can actually fly on him. Our iron farm building is almost done, but there are a few things I still want to add. Being able to fly up to these top parts of your builds like this is going to make detailing so much easier. especially because I use so many different blocks. I don't always remember to bring up like campfires and stuff. I saw another creator bring in these shelf blocks for some flower boxes, so I've done the same thing. So huge shout out to Snifferish for that idea. And over on the tower, I've brought them in as the window shutters as opposed to the trapdoors that I normally do. They might actually be my new favorite block. I really, really love these shelves so much. Anyways, if you guys have any name suggestions for this amazing happy gas, let me know in the comment section. And then next up, I figured we can go ahead and finally change out the floor in here. If I'm being honest, I should have done this earlier, but I was feeling a little bit lazy. I really didn't want to make all that mud by hand. At some point, I'm going to have to figure out how to make a vanilla mud farm. And we're really going to have to upgrade our wheat farm too, because I used literally all my bone meal to get the wheat to make this mud. But truly, that is going to be a future Froggy problem, because today we are focusing on the mine. Now with that taken care of, I do want to talk about some other stuff that we have to do, like putting in our pathways and all that stuff in between. We need to add an official entrance and staircase down into our iron farm collection area, because right now it's in this trapdoor, but eventually this is going to be a whole staircase in here. Now this room through here is actually just empty. It's spawn proof because these are bottom slabs, and eventually we could make these all into full blocks if we wanted to use this room for like storage or something. Let me know if you guys have any ideas for that room upstairs in the comments, but yeah, let's go ahead and get started with the detailing process, which is going to involve first going into the caves. I do know where a semi-big cave down here is, and you guys might remember from the last episode that there were some diamonds down there. But now that we have silk touch on our pickaxe, I want to go ahead and grab some silk touched ores to use for our ore piles. Now caving can be a little bit dangerous in hardcore, but I'm feeling pretty confident. We upgraded our gear a lot in this episode, and we also have a shield too, so we're fine. Oh, and right here we've already got our first delicious bits of rare ore. And we've got some redstone. We'll definitely grab up this iron to make it look like we're processing the iron down into blocks. There are some diamonds down here if we go ahead and make a little staircase. Ooh, those weren't the ones that I was expecting, but we'll take those too. Here are the ones that I was talking about right here. We definitely don't need to get every single ore that's ever existed, but I do want to get a large variety because I don't know what we're going to use yet. Oh my gosh, no way. No way there's an ancient city here. I'm just gonna grab this gold over here and go because I don't have any wool and I don't want to risk it. At least we know where it is in the future if we ever want to come back down here, which we probably will for Swift Sneak. Once we make a wool farm, we'll definitely come back down here and loot this whole thing. But not today. Today we are choosing to live. I should have realized living in the mountains that there's probably going to be an ancient city or two around us, but I will say an ancient city in Deep Dark in the bottom of the world is definitely worth it for the views that you get at the top. You know, but at least with the Deep Dark around, I'm not getting constantly bothered by mobs. And there are so many in this cave. Oh my goodness. Go away, Mr. Creeper. You're not ending this run. Hopefully they leave us alone for a while, even though I'm not placing torches, because I just want to focus on getting these ores and then getting out of here. Oh my gosh, what an absolutely massive deep slate copper vein. This is so cool. I rarely see deep slate copper. Maybe I just haven't been looking in the right places. Even though it's a little dangerous, I will say that caving is way more fun than strip mining. There is a diamond right over here behind the strip stone, which hopefully it's more than one. It's never more than one, although I do feel like I find them a lot more often now. But all right, with all of that, I think we're gonna head back to the surface because I don't think we really need anything else today. And with all that done, let's hope that this is gonna be our last time lapse of the video today. welcome back in from the time lapse, and this probably isn't where you expected to find me. But before we go over there, we need to collect some bones. Now, you guys might have noticed during the resource gathering time lapses that I did find a skeleton spawner in here where we've been mining up all of our stone. So I'm gonna go ahead and just farm some of these skeletons really quick for some bones. And I'm bringing you guys with me because I unfortunately have some bad news. During that very last time lapse when we were doing our exterior work, you guys might have noticed that my happy ghast was flying without a harness. And I bet you were thinking, oh my gosh, this silly Frogcy rafting, she was letting her happy ghast fly without a harness. She took it off. But you couldn't be more wrong. I did not take the harness off of my happy ghast, and something happened to it. I'm gonna go ahead and play you this very laggy clip that I took with my clipping software. I'm sorry that it's so laggy, but you guys are just gonna have to see for yourself what happened. I was gathering some spruce leaves and some pillagers were attacking me, and I had my happy ghast on a lead, and I was trying to get it away from the pillagers and trying to kill them really quickly, and it died. Now, somehow this counted as my kill, even though I don't feel like I personally killed my happy ghast, so I'll be haunted by this for the rest of my life. This really wasn't my fault, I feel. Like, this was not my fault. I was just trying to gather 500 spruce leaves. So I hydrated the other happy ghast that we found in the nether, and honestly, I'm going to keep this one 100% safe. I'm going to try to, at least. Because from a lore point of view, it would make total sense if the people of the valley were using happy ghast to get in and out of the valley, since there's no official pathway through the mountain yet. But yeah, guys, it's episode 2, and we're unfortunately gonna have to build a grave for our happy ghast. He didn't even have a name yet. I'm so sad. Now, back over here at our mine, I want to add some bone meal in between these kind of empty areas between the ore piles and on the edges and stuff, just to have a little bit of something going on in there. I really hope that by filling in this space with grass, it makes it look a little bit more natural without overdoing it. And to be honest, I think that it's working in my favor. I think it's really helping the vision that I had for this area. But now if we just take our scaffolding and tower up back here, we can finally get a full view of what it's supposed to look like. And yeah, the grass definitely helped. Oh my gosh, that looks so much better. The pathway will eventually link up over to our starter house and to the village and stuff, but right now it just kind of ends right here because I don't know exactly where it's going to go yet. But I've taken some care to add a bunch of decorations over here, like these carts with a bunch of iron shipments in front of the iron farm. And then we've got a bunch of different little pallets of stuff that we want to probably ship into the village as well. We've got a couple of carts full of copper because I assume this is probably where they're going to be mining all of the copper for the village and the valley and stuff. And then over here, we've got a couple of ore piles, which I've added some gravel into the ground around here. So it looks like when you're like mining through the stone with your pickaxe and all those little bits and pieces fall off, that becomes the gravel on the ground. Same up here for the deep slate. I made some gray concrete powder to be like the dust of the deep slate. I built my first ever crane for this project, and I just want to say a huge shout out to MagmaMusen here on YouTube because I was inspired directly by their tutorial from 5 years ago. It's maybe not the most realistic crane I've ever seen. It's definitely got like a little bit of fantasy whimsical vibe to it, but honestly, I still really like it. I think I've decided on using lodestones for our lampposts here in the valley because we have an iron farm now and they changed the recipe for lodestones to have iron. So I feel like this is such a really good way to show off that, and they're such a cool block. And then of course, just like last time, I added some trees with some baby trees and some bigger ones there in the back around the build. In the future, I'll definitely be adding more behind the iron farm and stuff too. But genuinely, I am so happy with how this area came out. Obviously, like I said, I've never done this before, so I just feel really, really good about it. Oh, and inside I did add some storage for when we go mining, but right now it's kind of full of all the junk that I was using for the project. But before I finished up the staircase for the iron farm, I want to build a grave for our happy ghast. And I think we can put it right up here on the hill underneath the trees. I feel like that'll be really pretty. So let me just throw down some tough blocks over here. And of course, we'll place a bunch of coarse dirt for a fresh grave. That makes me really sad to say out loud. And to honor him, we'll of course plant a bunch of cornflowers too. All right, let's just take a step back and look at this from afar. I do think I like that. Wait, there's a zombie villager up there. I think for now, until I can cure them, I'll just trap them here in the super smelter access. Whoops, I did not mean to do that. We'll just turn that off. This is a little bit awkward, but yeah, now I'm going to, please let me through. I'm gonna go and focus on the stairway in the iron farm. And now with the stairway in place, this build is almost fully finished except for the collection area at the bottom. Let me know if you guys think I should build it all the way up to the top of the tower, but if I show you guys really quick, it's a little hard to see because it's so small in here. But I brought in some more of these acacia tones to match the flag on top of the tower. Also because orange is complementary to blue, and blue is one of the main colors of the valley. Off camera, I also grinded for some emeralds for some name tags from the villagers, but I also gained 41 levels, so let's go ahead and try to enchant a little bit before we name our name tags. And let's just see what we're gonna get here. So we've got Unbreaking 3, ooh, Aqua Affinity. That's what I'd really like, that and Respiration, but Protection 3 on the pants, we already have that. And I think we'll just take Unbreaking on the helmet. Oh, there's Respiration. Getting Unbreaking on the pants is what we're looking for, and it came with Fire Protection too, but I think I can combine them in a specific way to keep regular protection. So the protection goes first, then the other ones, and then we keep protection and we also add Unbreaking. And we should probably do that for our helmet as well. 25 levels, oh my gosh, okay. Ooh, 11 levels is also quite a bit. That might have to wait, because I grinded for 15 name tags to name all of these animals around the valley, and we're gonna start here with our very own MVP, Robert the Copper Golem. Then we've got Sylvester here. Then for my friend Infinite Drift, we've got Ruthie and Ruthie 2. Then we've got Retaining Wall, Ripple, and then this cat was the cat that was moonwalking in the last video. So for him, we have the very special name of Meowkle Katzen for Michael Jackson. Now for our horses, we have the names Spirit, and we also have the name Socks. This bee is Mochi, and then we've got Pumpkin over here too. This kitty cat will be Jolene. Then way over here on this cart, we've got Finn. And then we've got our gatehouse kitties, which are Squirt and Padfoot. In between naming all of our cats and this clip, I have gone ahead and got some more XP levels so we can combine our helmet together, and now we've got some pretty upgraded armor in this episode. And it's still not perfect, but we're making upgrades slowly over time. To complete this episode though, we've got to do just one more thing, and that's to name our valley. I asked you guys here on YouTube to vote for your favorite name suggestion, and with over 40% of the vote, the Sapphire Veil is the winner. But we've taken it a step further, and I had a logo commissioned from a very talented member of the community for this series. And this is the beautiful logo that they came up with, incorporating the cornflowers, sapphires, the mountains. It's everything that I wanted, and I'm so happy with it. Sketchy's Discord username is going to be in the description of this video if you're interested in commissioning them for any artwork, and I just want to say a big shout out and a big thank you to Sketchy for making this commission for me. And I also want to thank all the viewers out there for suggesting names for the animals and for voting for your favorite name for the valley too. And speaking of names, we're going to need a name for this happy guest. Hopefully he lives long enough to actually get the name, but you know, I'll do my best. Anyways guys, I hope you had so much fun watching this episode. We kind of flew through things today since we had a lot to build and do. And we spent over 80 days gathering resources and building in today's episode. We're actually ending here on day 175. But that's going to be it for today, guys. Let me know what you thought of this project in the comments and leave me some suggestions on what to do next in this world. I always love seeing your guys' ideas. Hoping you have a great rest of your day. Thanks so much for watching. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.